Thank you, everybody. All right. Beautiful souls. Welcome, welcome. There's always something that goes wrong. Oh, that's okay. So, what I was blabbering on by myself about was the wonderful new moon that we are about to discuss tonight. We are talking about the combination of Sun, Moon, Virgo, in Virgo, next to star Spica with interstellar object 3I Atlas. So, this is a really magical alignment in the sky. So, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the sky. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the charts. And then we will go as you guys request um, by the rising signs. But of course, we'll start with Virgo. This will be here for a minute. But I thought, usually I record these and then put the timestamps. So we'll add the timestamps later. But I wanted it to be more interactive. So for those of you that are Virgo risings, what we'll do is we'll do that first after we read the full moon or the new moon in general. We have a yod in there, which is two quincunxes and a sextile, and I'll show you what that is. That's the finger of God or the finger of fate in astrology. We have a grand trine in the sky that includes Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith, and the North Node. And then we have a mystic square that involves Jupiter and Pluto. So I'm going to dive into all of that with you guys. Sorry if you couldn't hear me at the beginning. I want to blame the AWS servers, but it's my own dumb fault for not clicking the microphone. So I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for showing up, everybody. Let's see who we have. Sorry about the sound. Yeah. Your star map. Welcome. Ultima says we are 5 by 5. Sorry, Jen. All right. Good. I'm feeling a bit sheepish right now because I was on my YouTube lurking channel. I have a channel where I lurk, and it's just a totally different name. And, that way my algorithm doesn't get too messed up for the actual Dr. Danny channel. And I went to my channel to see what it looks like to join as a member. And I noticed that the cost of the membership was $6.99. I was like, wait a minute. And I remember back in March or May when I started the membership function on YouTube that it was a $4.99 membership. And I've been telling people that that's how much it is. And so I realized that if you guys are actually doing the $6.99, that I'm like even more grateful for all of you. So I want to thank all of you channel members for stepping up and supporting me, even though I thought my membership was cheaper. So it's only a few dollars. I guess maybe my rationale was trying to get to the number 7 or something like that. I don't really know what happened, but so apologies to all of you out there that I've invited to the channel, giving you the wrong price. I'm not even sure if I can change that. But at any rate, thank you so much. We do have one special member who's going to have a very big day tomorrow, because not only do we have the new moon with 3i Atlas, with Spica in constellational astronomical Virgo, but Miss Sprout Queen, who is here in the chat, is having her birthday as well. So everybody wish her a happy birthday. Give her a virtual hug. Let her know you love her. This is just amazing. So what we'll probably do is do Sprout Queen's ascendant next after we do Virgo. And then we'll see where you guys want to go in terms of which rising sign to read next. So awesome. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's been a wild couple of weeks for me. I realize I haven't talked to you guys since before I left to go spend time at the lake house. And all last week, me and my husband spent time painting and getting plans and buying things to fix this place up, because it is a little bit of a fixer-upper. But it's coming along nicely, and I'm so happy for him to be able to do the work. So I got to spend about 4 or 5 days up there, and it was just so peaceful. I did a little telehealth clinic while I was there. I did a reading while I was there. I painted, and I was very happy to come back, actually, because while the painting is fun, it's a lot of physical work, and you realize as you age that gets harder and harder to do. So my body was screaming by the time I got home. And I've been in the midst of working. So I have one more shift tomorrow, and then I'm off for a few days, at least until Halloween. So I'm excited. But that's what's going on with me. How's everybody else doing? I also did work yesterday and last night, so I am literally, a little tired and silly right now. But as long as you guys can hear me, good, good, good. All right. Dr. Powell's here. Hello, hello. All right. It looks like Nikki's called out Sagittarius, so that'll be third. And then we'll do Taurus fourth. Okay, it looks like we have our order, so that's good. All right, my friends, let's do this. I think everything's working. What I want to do first is just go into the sky. Let's just see what we're looking at here and really just sort of sit in this beautiful stellar energy. Now, all of this is around the sun. So if you were to go outside and quote unquote stare at the sun, you would see this. So it's not something that you can see with your eyes. One of the things I've been doing is sitting outside and just closing my eyes and sort of feeling the heat of the sun and letting that mesh with the energy of Three Eye Atlas and Spica and the Virgo energy. So this should be a pretty powerful reading, and I'm excited to give it to you. Let me share screen. Okay. All right. So here we are in the star maps. You can go to theskylive.com and you will go to star maps. And then once you have clicked on star maps, you will get to this screen. I've zoomed out a little bit, but right here. But if you zoom in, here it is. This is October 21st. So in less than 12 hours, we are going to have this magical alignment of the dark moon, the sun, Three Eye Atlas, star Spica in the constellation of Virgo. This just feels so magical to me because of the energy of what Virgo truly is. This is the birthing mother sky goddess. This is the energy of gestation. So if you look into your own chart, the basic meaning behind Virgo is how do you create order from chaos? And how do you allow matter to return back into energy? It requires a very high level of intelligence. You have to understand the underlying codes of the universe. And in fact, there is an immense amount of creation and destruction going on within the stars of Virgo. There are over 1,200 galaxies in this part of space. All of the other constellations, the number of galaxies is much, much smaller. So when you look at Virgo, you're looking at one of those sinuous strands of galaxies. When you look at the cosmic web, that's the part of the sky where we can see the closest one to us, the Virgo cluster. And what are galaxies? Well, at the center of them is an enormous singularity of gravity and light that is constantly creating and destroying, and an immense amount of energy. So when we look at Virgo, when we think about Virgo, it's not just like being analytical and being perfect. It is literally carrying out the divine order of the transformation between energy and matter. I mean, when you just think about it on a physics level. And so here we have this divine feminine mother birthing sky goddess standing up in the sky. We have Venus at the heart right here. And then in the belly, in the womb of Virgo, we've got the new moon, we've got the new sun, and we've got the interstellar object Three Eye Atlas. And this thing came from the galactic center, our own local Milky Way galaxy that we are in. That galactic center, there's over 1,200 of them in Virgo. And the closest one to us is where this object came from, following the healer's path and literally gestating, germinating, inseminating, impregnating right here in this space. So there's some new threshold that as a collective, I believe we're all transiting over, that we're walking through, stepping over, that feels incredibly karmic and fated. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that's going to manifest, but I feel as though we are on the precipice of something. And so when we read this in general, that's the energy we're going along. It doesn't feel like anything we can really do anything about, because these geometries that I'm discussing with you, with the mystic square, the grand trine, and the yod, are all very stable structures in the sky. So we're in for it. We're in for a ride that's pretty steady right now that we sort of have to accept and understand and integrate. So what I thought I'd do is by rising sign, I would read these in terms of your houses. So if you know your rising sign, then I can tell you precisely which house this lunar energy is beginning for you in, and we can talk about the other planets too. All right, so this is pretty amazing. Let's go ahead and I did a little presentation for you guys. And I thought we would just review where we've been a little bit with the Venus calendar. Those of you that were on the call with me, the channel member stargazers, we had a very amazing transmission. It was an intimate group live, but hopefully some of you have seen it by now, where we talked about this in great detail. And then we did a meditation activation that is also available for the members right now. Tomorrow morning, that 11-minute meditation will go live for the rest of you guys. So I appreciate you all being there. It was really wonderful. Lady Spellbreaker and I led it and guided it, and I got the chills listening to it again. It was really, really wonderful. So we are at the threshold. This is a manifestation portal. This is where you put your intentions out into the ether and you can see them manifest. So high vibe. We want to stay very high vibe through this threshold we're crossing through. This I reviewed with you guys a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, when Venus moved into Virgo. We talked about the energy of this kite. And this was what I was sailing on last week, being in nature, being in a very peaceful, blissful space. And now we're on the precipice, excuse me, of this new lunation in Virgo. And Venus is pretty unaspected for the next few days. So that's good. Those of you that are following your Venusian energy, or if you're guided by that energy, this is kind of a time to step out and get ready, because there's some challenging times coming for the Venus energy. All right, so here is the chart for the new moon at the exact moment that it happens. For me, in Central Daylight Time in the United States, it'll be around 6 in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning. And just below the horizon, right after Venus rises, the sun, the moon, Three-Eye Atlas, and Spica are all going to rise at the same time. And so here we have this amazing chart of geometries. So what I'm going to do is get out my pen here and go through these geometries with you. So the first one, let's do the mystic square. This is an energy that is a little bit new. We had a square before with Black Moon Lilith, but now it's a trine with Jupiter. So now moon and sun are in that space. And so we're going to break this down, and then we'll move into the yod, because I think that's the most important thing of this lunation. And then I'll talk about this trine that Jupiter is also involved in. So moon and sun and Jupiter are involved in both the square and the mystic square and the grand trine. So a new lunation, a new cycle, a new ovulation, a new fertile ground to begin your manifestation. But it begins with a challenge. It's immediately mirrored across the chart by Chiron, which is our collective's deep subconscious wound that stems from the separation of spirit, not being connected to source, only being a body, science only, no spirit. And our greatness is integrating that wound and realizing that we are all one, that we are all connected. And that's Pisces energy right here. So when we reflect back onto ourselves, this wound, this disconnection from spirit, we're being shown that there's a level of devotion and sacredness to the simple, to going back to the earth, going back to the roots, going back to what we're made of. And that is where we actually find source again. So that's what this mirror across the sky speaks to. Then we have Jupiter in Gemini, expanding knowledge, expanding our mind, in an opposition to Pluto, which is the lord of the underworld, the lord of wealth, in Capricorn, breaking the structures that are no longer serving us. Because we are expanding and we are improving in our minds, these structures necessarily reflect that change, the breaking down of all of that. And so these two are in tension with the moon, sun, and Chiron axis. So Chiron and Pluto in a challenging square together is vulnerable truth. like you're exposing your raw, wounded heart, opening up your wounds to the air to be purified, burned, cauterized, and sterilized. So, like, yeah, do it. Rip the Band-Aid off. This is that square. Jupiter and Chiron, this is a challenge with finding that authentic source. Sometimes we get into our minds too much and we're not sure what to believe. We fill our minds with clutter and information, and we can't access the true source. So there might be an opportunity, though, while everything is expanding around you, to definitely go inward and find that authentic truth. And this new moon allows you to do this too, because the moon and sun are now in a square to Jupiter. This is the sun's annual first quarter square with Jupiter, checking your expansion. Is it true? Is it faithful? Is it real? Are you overindulging? Are you overdoing it? So, a lot of questions to ask yourself, a lot of challenges that may come up this month for all of us as the collective, and the moon's highlighting that right now. And then, of course, we have this cosmic seed from another world bringing in some really strange information that we may or may not have words for just yet, but we can feel the impact of it at any rate. So that's very interesting. Then we have this yod. So what is a yod? I need to go into that with you guys. I need to show you what a yod is, because we don't talk about this all that often. The yod is a formation in the chart where you have an angle called a quincunx, and then the angle between two bodies called a sextile. So if we go back to this chart, you can see sun and moon are the focal point, the focus of this yod, which is Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, back to moon and sun. So this angle right here, this is the challenge. But this sextile right here is the gift. So if we go back into that slide, we'll have Uranus here. Uranus. We'll have Neptune and Saturn. And then we have moon and sun here. So what's the challenge with this new cycle with Neptune and Saturn? Well, this is devotion. This is spiritual devotion, and this is a new personal cycle. So this is an opportunity for us to use our spiritual devotion on ourselves rather than praying for other things. We can pray or set intentions for ourselves. And then the challenge with Uranus, because Uranus is in Taurus, conjunct the Pleiades, which has a star called Atlas in it, collecting those cosmic codes and transmitting them down into the physical world. We're being asked to embody that new energy. And Virgo is the perfect spot to do it. Uranus is in Taurus, so this is an earth sign. This is an earth sign. So it's almost as if the ground underneath us is shifting a little bit, and we have to find our true root, our true self, so that whatever comes from the chaos reflects our true authenticity. But really, the skill or the gift between these two is surrendering to the transformation. And with Saturn in the mix, there's a level of expertise and legacy and responsibility here. It's almost as if it's our mission and our duty to surrender to the transformation. So that's what this yod is pointing to. Sometimes you can get a little fancier and have a boomerang yod. And that's where you have a semi-sextile here and here, which is 30-degree angle. Then you have your sextile here, and then you have your quincunx, and your opposition. And what this usually does is it drives you to do something, and then the reaction is what's between this gift. So what does that look like for this chart? And we do have one, actually. We have Chiron right there with that opposition. And so the reaction here is healing. If we surrender to this transformation using this timed portal, which is so synchronous and so incredibly beautiful and perfect, to connect with spirit and surrender to the transformation. So that's how I read that yod. There's the square. The square will probably have a hand in pushing you towards the energy of the yod. And the energy that can help us is this grand trine between Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith on one point, Jupiter on the other, and then Neptune, Saturn, and South Node on this one. This is where it feels karmic, right? Because when you're involving the nodes in a grand trine, there's a pull that can't be stopped. There's a flow here. Black Moon Lilith is speaking and acting with sovereignty, yet also with harmony and balance. And when this is fully expressed, Jupiter expands it. It can't help it to the realm of the mind, to the realm of creativity. And then we have a spiritual devotion associated with it. So I think we allow this square of Chiron and Pluto to open up the raw vulnerability, which then allows us to communicate unabashedly in a balanced way. And that pulls us towards our collective destiny and in a way that's also expansive and helpful and abundant. So I like all these are all very steady aspects that we'll have over the next day or 2 or 3. So that's the chart. And this happens to be the chart of Virgo Rising. So what I want you guys to do is to make sure that you know what your rising sign. Actually, it doesn't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter. You probably want to use the constellational astronomical system, because if you're going to use tropical rising signs for these readings, the houses will be off by one shift by about 24 degrees. So for example, if I'm reading a Gemini rising in constellational, you guys will believe that you are Taurus when you're not. So, or Cancer. Yeah, you guys will think you're Cancers. So tropical Cancers are the positions of the constellational Geminis, for example. All right. So play along. It might work out for you. It might resonate, because really it's the relationships that the planets are playing out in resonance to your natal geometric structures. And that's what I'm trying to connect for you in as a specific way as possible, without actually knowing all your birth details. All right. So let me jump out of this for a second. Get a drink of water. See what you guys are talking about. All right. There it is. Okay, good. All right. Lady Spellbreaker's in the house. Yeah. Show the love. Show the love. I appreciate you guys so much. The African Wolf is here. April Wall's here. All right. Good. Looks like we have a nice combination of rising sign folks. Is anybody here a Taurus rising like me? I like to read that one in the first person. All right. Cool. Y'all look great. I'm going to go ahead and jump back in. We'll do, I think, let's see. I'm going to memorize the first 3 here. I want to do Virgo, Leo, and then Sag and Taurus, because MJ is a Taurus too. So we'll do Taurus after Sag. Okay. So I should just do it in the zodiacal order, but I want to keep you guys engaged. I want you to enjoy. All right. So for those of you that are Virgo rising, if you have any like specific spots, like which house certain things are in, I might be able to elaborate on that a little bit. But let me give you guys the general read for Virgo rising, and we'll do the timestamps later, guys. It takes about sometimes up to 48 hours for YouTube to process my videos in order for me to look at them and do the timestamps. So just be patient with us. Hide that. Go back into this. All right, Virgo rising. So just to summarize this moon in general, I'm calling this the moon of quantum integration, where the Grand Cross exposes all of your areas of resistance, and the Grand Trine between Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn is a harmonic field for translation. The Virgo energy ensures a bountiful harvest if you do the work precisely, and whatever it is that you bring through will not be from this world because of where Three-Eye Atlas is. So let me grab my notes for Virgo rising. All right, this is a very personal moon for you guys, you Virgo rising. This is sun, moon, Three-Eye Atlas all in your first house. It's a moment of redefinition. Anytime something comes through the first house, so you get to do this portal in the area of I am. So it can be a full renewal of identity and energy and stepping into a cleaner, more profound, and grounded version of yourself. Venus is going to be right on your ascendant during this lunation. So there's a grace that fills the transformation. So you can approach change without the dread of, you know, the angst of change. Refinement is not about perfection, but more about the harmony of things. So you guys with Venus on your ascendant and Sun Moon in your first house are going to have a glow around you that comes from an inner coherence that this moon might bring for you. In your second house, you're going to have Mercury, Black Moon Lilith, and Mars. And so the second house is the house of your resources and values. You're going to feel called to speak your truth more directly. You may even want to simplify your possessions. It invites practical courage, organizing finances, adjusting your pricing, using your voice in service of what you truly believe. Pluto in your fourth house, on the cusp of your fifth house, deepens your roots. There's going to be emotional patterns from the past that have surfaced and continue to surface. Home and family themes may transform. You may simply feel the need to rearrange your foundations, physically or energetically. So what it could mean actual restructuring of things, or could it just mean an energetic restructuring? You also have Neptune, Saturn, North Node in your sixth house. So this is the house of service. Purpose flows in here so that the work you do feels divinely called. So but it also needs to be a bit practical as well as soulful. So you may need to actually change your routine. You might want to adjust your work schedule. Um, Chiron in the seventh house is going to mirror how relationships help you with your healing journey. Others are going to hold up a reflection to you of your own tenderness, of your own vulnerabilities. So choose connections that show you that, but honor your growth and don't make you feel guilty or bad about it. Uranus here in the eighth house is going to be a surprising shift in shared resources and intimacy. So it's going to be a little bit unpredictable what could happen there, right? So just be honest with yourself. No matter what happens in the realm of the eighth house, be very honest. That will anchor you into the truth and into physicality. Jupiter in the 10th amplifies your voice, your visibility, the area of your mind. You're being seen now for your wisdom and your clarity. So the more truthful your message is, going back to Uranus, the more your opportunities expand. And then you have South Node in the 12th. So it's time to release old beliefs that have to disappear. You don't even need to hide your light to be pure anymore. That the new moon is going to give you permission to be both devoted and visible. So what you might see, Virgo rising, is a renewed sense of vitality or desire to simplify your environment. You're going to see subtle shifts in appearance this month that reflect inner peace and confidence. You may be driven to reorganize your finances, your business structures, or your creative priorities. You're also going to want to increase focus on health through gentle routines, rest, and nourishment. Deep emotional clearing in family and home matters may come to the surface with Pluto here, and collaborations that grow out of mutual respect and shared purpose. So you're also going to gain some recognition for your unique skill or wisdom. So there's a cleaner code here for your body, for your breath, for discernment. You're remembering that precision is sacred and alignment is actually a devotion. And when you stand in that harmony, the earth herself becomes more ordered through you. So simplifying, focusing on those relationships, allowing them to heal you and open you up, especially the family relationships, Virgo. All right, let's see. Who other Virgos do we have? All right, good. Good, good. Okay. Then let's move on to Leo rising, because that is Sprout Queen's uh energy. So let me find Leo. Oh, Leo's all the way at the end here. Here we go. Oops. Leo rising. All right, Leo, here we go. So your sun and your moon are going to be in your seventh house. So three atlas, Spica, sun and moon, all in the second house, Venus in the second house. The focal point of this yod is here and opposing Uranus in your ninth house, and then, or in quincunx to, and then also quincunx to Saturn, Neptune in your seventh house. Okay. And then the gift between them. So the relationship with knowledge, the relationship with higher wisdom is where that surrendering to the transformation, surrendering to the metamorphosis comes into play. So what is that relationship with knowledge and wisdom? Well, it's directly on how you value yourself, right? These sun moon conjunctions are about us. It's about us as individuals, the inner and the outer self merging in the sky. And through the second house, it's about your values. It's about what you want to bring through. So let me scroll down here to Leo. So this is going to root its energy in tangible things for you. It's refining the structure of security and self-value. How do you spend your money? What do you cultivate? How do you maintain the body that carries your brilliance? Three-Eye Atlas adds a cosmic perspective. So it isn't just about money or possessions anymore, but about an energetic stewardship. How are you tending to the resources? Now determines what frequencies you can hold later. Having Venus in your second house is awesome. This graces this process with ease. So wealth and beauty share the same root, appreciation and gratitude. So when you treat what you have with reverence, more flows naturally to you. So it invites small and elegant corrections, like balancing the budgets, reorganizing possessions, not doing anything huge, really just doing the things that you can do and doing them in a way that's alive and supportive. The South Node in your first house is having you let go of self definitions that rely on performance. You are not your image, you are your integrity. So the way that you hold yourself quietly, consistently, it becomes the source of magnetism. Jupiter in the 11th house is going to expand networks, opportunities, friends, communities, and collaborations. The doors are opening for you here this month. This is abundance through connection, and where generosity becomes the currency. Uranus in your ninth house is going to be flashes of awakening in belief. These long-held philosophies that may evolve overnight, freeing you from any dogma you thought yourself held to. So be inspired to guide yourself into new studies, new travels that challenge and uplift your mind. Chiron in the 8th house, this is healing around being vulnerable, right? You need to learn to receive help and to share resources without fear of losing autonomy. True power is the interdependence of things. The North Node and Saturn and Neptune in the 7th house is about growth through your partnerships, business and personal. These alliances can potentially deepen when they're grounded in mutual respect and clarity. So Saturn's going to build structure for you. Neptune is going to weave compassion. And together, they teach balanced devotion. Pluto in the 5th house transforms creativity and joy. This has been here for a while now. So what once felt like performance becomes authentic expression. Art, romance, and pleasure all become sacred work. And then, of course, we can't forget Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith, all sitting here in your 3rd house, electrifying your communication. So you're going to speak with conviction this month, and others are going to listen. So it's passion delivered with grace. So, what you might find happening this month is revisiting budgets, possessions, work routines, reflecting new priorities, a new energetic blueprint that you're going to do with small everyday things. You're going to have productive collaborations that expand financial and creative potential. You're also going to have sudden insight about purpose, education, worldview. You're going to heal patterns of scarcity and fear around receiving. And then growth in partnerships founded on honesty and the shared responsibility. You may even have a renewal of artistic or romantic inspiration and recognition that self-worth determines every single form of abundance. So for Leo rising, this moon is confidence. Make your confidence a system, not a feeling. So every time you organize something, be thankful. Every time you have grounded attention, know that that's the framework of your prosperity. Live in rhythm with value, where what you cultivate within reflects effortlessly in what you create without. So, Sprout Queen, happy birthday. What an amazing month for you. And also being a solar return month, this is like a new solely lunar cycle as well. I didn't do that for you guys this month because I really wanted to focus on these houses. I just feel like we're at the precipice of some really big energy, and these aspects feel so karmic. So I wanted to make sure everybody had as much information that they could get. If you guys need a reading, I'm off in a couple days for a little while, so I'll have some time to do readings if you guys want to do that. Nikki, let's go with Sagittarius Rising. I have to find it. Let me see. Here we go. All right. Let me go up to my notes. We'll get through all of them eventually. I just wanted you guys to sort of, because you can, even if it's not your rising sign, you can still get the general feeling of what these house placements mean, especially if you're learning from us and you're participating in Stellar Foundations or any other classwork. So this is really, really powerful. So, okay, so for Sagittarius rising, for our friend Nikki in the chat, your sun moon this month are going to be in your 10th house. That's where 3i Atlas is. That's where Spica is. So there's beautiful gifts, a cosmic insemination of a new responsibility, a new way that you're being seen in the public space. And it really is your chance to shine here. With this yod, with this energy, you have 3rd and 5th house, and so it's knowledge, programming, language, teaching siblings, local environment that is going to work harmoniously with your creative desires, creative appetites, and inspirations. So if you do surrender to that metamorphosis and allow that creative blooming to come through, this is going to treat you very nicely and allow you to be seen. The 10th house is the calling and recognition. And this is when inner mastery seeks expression in the outer world. There's an excellence and a refinement and a higher instruction, that extra solar energy of 3i Atlas. So you're being guided to design something new for your work, one that serves not only success, but also evolution. And it's also asking you to become very deliberate. Sagittarius thrives on vision and adventure. And Virgo insists on process and detail. So now the task is to merge those two forces and to give divine inspiration a clear form to grow in. So your purpose is ready to crystallize, and what was once an idea must now become a thing, something that you do, something that you contribute and can interact with. Now, Venus is standing right in the midheaven as well. So it's going to soften that ambition of the 10th house with that grace and beauty. So recognition is now coming through authenticity, not effort. Okay. So when you surrender to that creative energy and you love what you create, the world will notice. So if you allow beauty and kindness to lead your public expression, this will express very nicely for you. South Node in Leo in the 9th. This is a release of dogma. You no longer need to believe in any systems to define who you are and what you believe. The deeper truth emerges from direct experience. So this is a humbling liberation. And this node will be here for a little while for you. So this is more of a longer term process. but it's trading certainty for wisdom and doctrine for discovery. So lean into that a little bit. Jupiter in your 7th house is going to, which is your chart ruler, is also going to expand relationships and alliances. Partners are going to appear out of nowhere that amplify your purpose or offer a reflection that clarifies your direction. So listen to the teachers, listen to the gurus. Collaboration is key. Success is going to flow through shared vision rather than you trying to do it all on your own. Uranus, again in your 5th house, this is awakening creative spontaneity. Inspiration should strike you suddenly this month. Music, art, ideas. It's just going to come from nowhere. Let them in, give them room. The more that you play with those ideas, the more genius you'll allow to move through you physically and spiritually. Chiron in your 4th house. This is healing your origins. So it's home and family stories, right? So something that's been replaying over and over and again in your family, because this is part of the boomerang yod, there may be a different way to perceive it so that it is no longer that repetitive pattern that Chiron tends to give us. The foundation that you stand on becomes strong, not because it's untouched, but because it has been made conscious. So again, go deep, go within, do that ancestral healing, do that past life healing, if you want to tap into that this month with this yod structure. Then you have North Node, Saturn, Neptune, all in your 3rd house. So it's growth into communication. You're really going to want to start articulating what you know in a way that others can use. Okay, this is trying to Mercury and Mars in your 11th house. So it's teaching, it's writing, it's speaking with new clarity for groups of people, even having collaborative partnerships in that arena. That's where you're going to expand. Now, Pluto in your 1st house is literally renewing your identity. This is a phase of some people, not everybody gets a 1st house Pluto transit in their lifetime, but you're very lucky to have one, because it's literally redefining who you are and allowing you to wake up into your power. And if you're between the age of, if you're born between 1970 and 1975, you're going through a Pluto trine Pluto right now, which normally only happened if Pluto's orbit were completely circular, would be age 81. But because of its current position in its orbit, it's moving faster from our perspective. And so people in their late 40s and early 50s are meeting up with this angle. Super interesting. So again, activating your social leadership here with this 11th house energy, your voice is going to carry power in groups. Okay. When you speak the truth, others are going to awaken. So, but also be mindful too, right? That, Black Moon Lilith isn't always polite. Neither is Pluto. So be mindful in what you speak, because your words can build or break momentum. So aim them towards something that you're fighting for or believing in. All right. So you might see a clear sense of vocational direction, a new career chapter, opportunities to teach, lead, or share knowledge. Collaborations or partnerships will expand their reach and influence for you. Creative breakthroughs or spontaneous inspiration that feels guided, and the healing of family or ancestral narratives that once limited visibility. Writing, teaching, communication projects, and recognition that arrives naturally through integrity and grace. Whew, so this is a really nice moon for you, Sagittarius rising. You're no longer dreaming of the future. You're building it through these thought experiments, through each act of precision and each word that you choose. It's becoming the framework of your new earth. So lead by example, ground yourself in wisdom, and stay guided by the wonder of it all. All right, let's see. What sign is next? I go back up to Nikki. I think the next one I saw was Taurus Rising with MJ. So that is me also. So let's go to that. Taurus Rising. So we have Uranus right on our ascendant right now, and the Pleiades right on our ascendant right now. So it's very interesting. Let's see. There it is. Taurus Rising. So there it is. For Taurus rising, the sun and moon and three eye atlas and Spica are all conjunct here in our fifth house, the house of creativity, of joy, of wonder, of romance, of taking risks, of enjoying life, of laughter, of fun. Venus is also here, which is very, very nice. So the gift between the Uranus sextile and the Saturn Neptune conjunction here is a 12th and 10th house. So it's gosh, it's achieving devotion almost through the process of surrendering to the metamorphosis. It's almost as if when we surrender to our metamorphosis, which is very impactful because that metamorphosis is literally next summer going to pass into our first house. When we just lean into that, then our creative energy heightens. It becomes more refined, more courageous, more logical, more perfect. So, really allowing whatever new or crazy or wild creative ideas come through, giving them space, allowing them to manifest, and allowing yourself to dream. I think this is really, really useful for Taurus rising. So, I feel the call with this in my fifth house to create something that is real, like Virgo, tangible. It's got beauty and its function, right? It's not about performance, it's about being in it, it's about embodiment. And creativity can be very much a spiritual act, an act of devotion, weaving light into matter. So every time I create something, I'm participating in my own construction of my new earth. Um, Virgo will refine my expression this month. It's going to ask me to slow down, MJ, you and I, to perfect our crafts, to honor detail without losing spontaneity. So, our work, our art, our joy, all of it wants to carry precision and purpose. So, we're going to be learning that mastery is the devotion, it's not about control. Venus here is going to fill this process with love. Venus in fifth house is love right now. So, pleasure is the sacred fuel. So, if you allow the beauty to move through you, inspiration arrives effortlessly, and love, romance, creative flow becomes the portal of grace. Now, the South Node in our fourth house whispers that roots have served their purpose. There's an emotional security that we once sought that we are letting go of so that we can have creative confidence, right? A safety to expand. Um, your home could become a foundation from which to radiate instead of retreat. We have Jupiter in our second house, magnifying abundance and blessings. But this is also about valuing yourself, the gifts you bring to the world. And so ref, the more that I value the gifts I give to the world, you too, MJ, that the more the world will reflect that worth back to you. Um, so you want to honor your resources, the financial, the physical, and the emotional, as sacred currents working in integrity. And by doing that, prosperity follows naturally. Uranus in the 12th, flashes of insight that seem to appear from nowhere. Raise your hand, Taurus rising, if you're having vivid dreams, heightened intuition, right? We're being asked to trust in the invisible as much as the tangible. These unseen messages guide creative processes in unexpected ways. Chiron in the 11th, this is where we have been misunderstood, unseen, banished from the community. And healing comes through authentic sharing, right? It's literally just diving deep and opening up your heart, being vulnerable. So, truth without defense. And that attracts others to walk that same path with us. Now, North Node, Saturn, Neptune in our 10th house. These last few nodal transits have been all about the 10th house. So, bringing form into vision. Um, you might find that your public role is transforming. I know I certainly am. I'm being called to step into a visible purpose, to show what love looks like when it takes structure. And Saturn lends commitment, Neptune gives us faith, and together it's inspired work that can also be very steady work. Pluto in the eighth house, man, what a transit this has been for the past 13 years. Um, this is emotional and energetic transformation. Literally, my whole world has changed. everything becomes alchemy. You see all the connections. You understand how everything works. The world, with an eighth house Pluto, it's like you understand how magic works. Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith in our sixth house. This grounds our creativity in practice. So routines become rituals, discipline becomes devotion, and details actually free us. So we have to pay attention to details this month, Taurus rising. A new creative project is coming forward that we're going to feel guided to accomplish. We're going to have renewed passion in love or artistic expression, opportunities to be recognized or rewarded for our natural gifts, shift in family or home that allows more space for joy, healing self-doubt, and intuitive insights that shape the direction of work and also create deeper connections between the daily discipline and the spiritual inspiration. So this is really just walking with pure, unadulterated creative devotion for Taurus rising. All right, the next one we have is Capricorn rising. So let's go there. Capricorn rising, you guys, y'all have Pluto on your ascendant right there, about to embark on a first house Pluto journey, meaning that I don't think I already read this one. No, I didn't. Meaning that you will literally transform who you are. That Pluto is working quietly over the past several years as it moves through your 12th house. And you have intense dreams, intense visions, subconscious layers being purified, preparing you to dive into that first house transit of Pluto through Capricorn with power and presence. So that's coming for you guys. Saturn rules your chart, and our Saturn is in your second house at the moment. So this is combined with Neptune and North Node, and it guides you to build new value systems, right? Either financial systems around self-worth. This is going to ground you in discipline, and Neptune's going to dissolve that scarcity thinking, right? A new structure of abundance based on alignment. And then meanwhile, this moon with this yod structure here has a second and fourth house gift when you surrender to the transformation. It means that there's fourth house energy where sudden changes in your home or family dynamics can be set off. And while it may look like a loss on the outside, it's actually a liberation. So the changes that you're undergoing in your fourth house area of life is an arrangement that if you lean into and trust, will allow you to really focus on what this moon is about, these higher systems of ninth house energy, right? So this is the domain of wisdom, meaning, and perspective. You're being called to refine your philosophy. It isn't enough to just believe anymore. You're asking to understand and understand. Through this lunation, your beliefs are being distilled so that you can support a lifetime of purpose. So you're going to find new teachers. You might have travel experiences, studies that align in your worldview with truth. The interstellar object 3i Atlas seeding your ninth house means that the knowledge doesn't necessarily have to come through the earthly sphere. It can come through synchronicity, dream, space travel, visit to the angelic realms. Venus is going to soften your quest being in the ninth house because beauty will become a form of worship. Foreign music, foreign art, foreign culture, different languages, the sound of other languages. So follow what inspires awe here because it's going to lead you toward a deeper understanding. You have South Node in your eighth house, and this is going to be a release of old entanglements, emotional debts, shared financial ties, or psychic attachments. All of that can dissolve now. Transformation comes through honesty, willingness to let go of what is no longer reciprocal or balanced. Jupiter, expanding Gemini, expanding your sixth house and your capacity to serve, to give. So work, routines, daily rhythms become places of opportunity and meaning. This is really where you want to allow your skills to flourish and adopt practices that support a greater well being. Chiron in your third house, right here, is asking for gentleness in communication. Words can be so powerful. They can either heal or reopen old wounds. That is why we spell words. So we have to be careful with the words that we say. So we want to be clear. We don't want to try and convince anyone of anything. We just want to be clear in our intent. So I think I covered everybody there except for this Mercury, Mars, Black Moon, Lilith energy. This is 10th house, right? So it's going to ignite your ambition. You're going to be seen as someone with authority, originality. And the challenge here really is to speak your truth with not only courage, but also that grace. And the reaction to this mission becomes that healing energy of Chiron. So it's leadership through authenticity. And what you Capricorns may see is a shift in your belief systems or worldview that's going to give you a new clarity in your life direction. You may have opportunities for travel, for study, or for teaching that expands your understanding. You're going to be letting go of draining financial or emotional bonds this month. You're also going to, because you're letting go of all of that, you'll have new space to improve your daily routines through Jupiter. And transformations within home or family are leading to a greater independence. So you might also have new sources of income that may redefine your self-worth. You're going to have a surge of career motivation. You've got, Jupiter in the 6th house trining your 10th house, which is also trining your 2nd house. So this is very nice for the purpose axis. So yeah, it's the architecture of belief. And when the inner belief changes, then the external world does too. And it aligns with who you authentically are. Awesome. All right, so we did Sag, Taurus, Capricorn. It looks like Ophiuchus is next, so that's cool. Let's back up. So for this exercise with rising signs, I have combined Scorpio and Ophiuchus into one reading because they share the same space in the sky. One could cheekily call this constellation Scorphiuchus. It literally represents the spectrum of physicality to spirituality, the flow of your chi or your prana through your chakras. And so for those of you with either one of these with the AS next to it right here, it could be a few degrees up and Ophiuchus would be here, but this would be the same reading. And so in general, you guys are going to have, let's get to the Scorpio Ophiuchus. So this is for April Wall. She is an Ophiuchus rising. So you're going to have Sun, Moon, and Atlas and Spica in your 11th house, okay? So this is the house of collective creation and networks that weave the future. This is where individual mastery joins the greater collective. So you're going to need to ask yourself, Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising, how can I serve through the structure of my community? This gift here between the Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus is a 4th house, 6th house energy. And so it's service to the root of the self, service to the inner self, service to the family lineage. You want to lean into that metamorphosis. And the challenge is to organize, to clarify your role into a larger mission, or realign with people who share your values. So the collaborations that you take on now carry a spiritual weight. Atlas is going to activate the part of you that can hold a vision beyond Earth's limitations. Remember, it's not from here. So a greater collective, greater than even Earth itself. But Virgo is grounding that in the practical and the real. So it's a pattern of connection that can last for quite a while if you do it right. Now, the South Node in the 10th house is reminding you to release any outdated definitions of success. Whatever you thought was successful, whatever you thought was powerful, you don't need that validation anymore. There's a new form of leadership that's transparent, collaborative, and very powerful, but in a quiet way. Jupiter is transiting through your 8th house, so you are developing a deeper understanding of shared energy, financial, emotional, spiritual, anything that flows from one to the other. There may be opportunities for joint ventures, mutual investments, okay? But Jupiter is here to teach you about discernment. True abundance is going to flow where trust, vulnerability, and integrity align. Uranus in your 6th house. This is going to change the way that you work and change the way that you care for your body. So routines may suddenly shift. The universe literally wants you to find freedom in daily life, not confinement. So listen to your body's signals, because this is where the innovation begins. And then Chiron, the reaction to this Yod's mission, this deep subconscious wound, this greatness, you're learning to create without fear of judgment. So art, play, and love are medicine. Let them flow naturally. Then we've got the North Node with Saturn and Neptune, and this is all 4th house energy, bringing you home, giving you a beacon, the inner state of peace. So what you're doing while you're in that inner state is building a new foundation, either literally or spiritually, that supports the next stage of your evolution. Sometimes family patterns can dissolve here, and in their place, a clear sense of belonging within. And that's going to propel this grand trine that is a 4th, 12th, and 8th house energy. You have Pluto in your 2nd, Scorpio and Ophiuchus rising. So this is reshaping your relationships to resources and your self-worth. The more authentic your contribution, the more stable your material life becomes. But you're also willing to strip it all bare to the very basics to start again. Mars and Mercury, Black Moon Lilith in the 12th house. So this is hidden strength here. This is a behind the scenes energy, sharpening intuition and courage. You will have insight that arrives in dreams during moments of stillness. So you need to trust what you're feeling before you actually name it. Ways that you might see this playing out this month might be joining or creating a community that reflects your deeper purpose. Opportunities to collaborate on projects of healing, education, innovation, release of career goals that no longer fit the soul, a positive transformation in collaborations, partnerships, and shared resources. You might even have a sudden need to restructure work routines and health practices, and you're going to heal through the creative or playful expression. You may want to redesign your home or foundation to match the next stage of your growth, get rid of things that aren't working. And then you'll also experience a heightened intuition and quiet confidence in your inner guidance. So this is the next chapter of your social destiny. You're no longer the lone alchemist working in secret. You're now coming out with mastery and helping to create the pattern of the new earth. All right, Ophiuchus Rising. All right, let's see. We did that. Aquarius Rising. Yeah, let's do that. So we have Jen is an Aquarius Rising. We also have Ultimus Hastings is an Aquarius Rising. So we'll read that for both of you guys. This is going to be the alchemy of enlightenment. Here it is, Aquarius Rising. And so Sun and Moon will be in your 8th house. House of transformation, sex, death, secrets, shared resources. And I think this is a great house for Virgo, because I think Virgo does better when there is an energy of release. Sometimes because we don't use both directions of Virgo, the creation and the destruction, there can be a buildup of energy around Virgo. But the 8th house allows her to flush away what's not working. And so for you Aquarius risings to have a new lunation, and you have this interstellar insemination, impregnation, cosmic code coming in through your 8th house, you're going to go through a transformation this month that feels like you really can't stop, because this quincunx energy is pointing to a 1st and a 3rd house energy. It's transformation of self, changing the self. so that you can serve the local collective field. So, unseen contracts, inheritances, emotional ties that shape your life, this is going to be shining light into that area. And Virgo will actually bring a lot of order to this deep terrain. The interstellar object 3i Alice may add a bit of revelation, and something within you is being rewritten at the level of your essence. So you're holding power differently, not as control, but as a coherence, as a guided frequency. And it helps you notice the small imbalances that drain your vitality or even distort the energy of trust. So it's going to allow a gentle correction, like a fine-tuned instrument, until the vibration is in resonance with the harmony again. And Venus being in the 8th house right now, also in Virgo for you, Aquarius rising, softens the edge of the transformation. There's going to be an element of love and intimacy that becomes the mirror for this truth. So the deeper you move into an emotionally honest experience, or a subtle awakening of sensual awareness, that vulnerability is actually the strength of this, the courage to be fully known. So when you show your full self here. Now, the South Node in your 7th is a completion of an old relationship pattern that is leaving your field. So partnerships that once defined you may evolve or release. You're no longer bound to please or appease. Relationships are now like the laboratories of truth and communication rather than straight up negotiation. Jupiter's in your 5th house, reawakening your joy and creativity. Even amid the deep work that you're doing right now, there's play, there's fun, there's creative and expressive outlets available to you. So, this transformation that you're going through can be fun. It can be a celebration, can be joyful. Uranus in your 3rd house is awakening quick changes in perception. So, new ideas flash like lightning, and communication may become the channel through which freedom enters. So, you want to be very careful here and speak what you mean, even if it surprises others. It's going to be the best thing for you. Chiron in the 2nd, teaching through healing yourself, healing your old wounds. Financial themes of lack may surface as a reflection of your own value. So you want to anchor your security in your inner resources than in any external validation. And then you've got North Node, Neptune, and Saturn in your 1st house as part of that grand trine. So it's a 1st, 5th, and 9th house grand trine. It's a turning point in your identity. You're building a more mature and compassionate expression of yourself. And Saturn lends to this integrity, and Neptune is opening up that empathy for you. It's almost as if you're rediscovering yourself again through a new and powerful devotion or purity. And then you have Pluto in your 11th house, transforming the community that you once called your soul tribe. Old social circles are dissolving while new networks form around the shared purpose. So these friendships, the ones that remain, will feel faded, and they're going to mirror your soul's current frequency. So you're going through kind of a friend shift right now, between friends kind of energy maybe. And then, of course, you have Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith in your 9th house, asking you to speak from your conviction. The words that you speak can pierce illusion, and travel, teaching, or some kind of spiritual study can open the next door for you. So, what you might see as a practical manifestation this month of all of this is a financial or energetic rebalancing. You're going to be releasing draining partnerships or contracts. That's going to open up space for you to allow deeper emotional intimacy, renewed sensual vitality. Aquarius Rising is going to have a creative renaissance this month, an expansion in art or teaching that expresses a new truth, and then sudden insights through communication breakthroughs. So really open up, be true, be raw when you're speaking your truth. This is going to lead you to a grounded confidence that, makes a truer and more compassionate version of you emerge. And then because of this, the evolution of your friendships and groups are going to match that growth. So an inner purification for Aquarius Rising, distilling your essence until only the truth remains. And this is going to ripple through every connection around you. And the more precise your integrity, the more magnetic your light becomes. All right, so let's see. We've done Virgo, we've done Leo, we've done Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius. We're almost going in order. I feel like if I went to Libra, we'd leave the odd man out. Let's see who's next. We have Aquarius Rising, Capricorn. We've done that one. Let's see. Maybe we don't have any Libra risings here. All right, cool. Okay. Let me see. Am I still live streaming? Oh, yes, I am. Good. All right. Let us go on to, we'll do Libra rising and then we'll finish out the zodiac. So 5 more to go. Usually when I'm doing these as a recording, I can take a break and get up and go do something else. So Libra rising, if you're here and you're listening, this one is for you, my friends. All right. Libra rising. There you are. All right. So Libra rising, this new moon's in your 12th house. So this is a behind the scenes. This is a hidden realm of dreams and spirit where your subconscious meets the divine. So you might have a month where you're just more quiet, more contemplative, more drawn to solitude. Maybe that's why you're not asking for me to read your sign right here in the live stream. But if you listen later, this is for you. And what this is going to do for you, this quiet behind the scenes energy, is it's going to clean the lens of your perceptions, right? Old worries, stories, and private fears may surface briefly, only to dissolve. And the Virgo energy is going to bring a gentle purification that helps you see reality as it truly is, and not as a memory or an emotion that was once painted. So Venus in your 11th house here, for those of you with Libra rising, it's going to reconnect you with your community and your friendships while helping you to release old social patterns. You're going to realize who truly shares your vision of the future. You're going to allow your networks to refine naturally, and the people that remain are those who match your current vibration. So, in your first house, you're going to have Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith, and they're bringing courage to your voice. Even while the new moon works internally, your outward energy will want to assert this truth. So, speak with grace, not urgency. Libra rising, your words have power, especially when they come from the still center that you will cultivate in private during this lunation. Jupiter in your 9th house is expanding your worldview. New studies, travels, philosophical insights are going to call you towards bigger and broader horizons. Consider teaching, writing, or publishing. This is an encouraging moment, an encouraging month for you that begins within and behind the scenes. Uranus in your 7th house is electrifying these relationships that you're going to be entering. Partners are going to surprise you or reflect that rapid growth that you're going through. So stay curious here. These connections evolve as each person awakens to their own truth. Chiron in the 6th is asking you to tend to your body now more than ever. The daily rhythms, love your body, rest, nurture yourself. A gentle consistency. You don't have to break personal records this month. It's not necessary. And then North Node, Saturn, Neptune in the 5th house, back to the creative joy. That's where you need to go when you're in that restful state. Expression is sacred, especially with the discipline. It becomes devotion. So anything that you're being artful about, playful about, spending time with children, you will rediscover what it means to create without expectation. And just let that inspiration be of service to you. And then, of course, Pluto in your 3rd is transforming the way you communicate. The words you choose carry depth, but silence too, Libra rising, can be a teacher. So look for a period of inner clearing, retreat, vivid dreams that signal deep healing. Reconnect with an authentic community while releasing those superficial networks that you're just clout chasing for. Discover a new spiritual or philosophical path that opens your mind so that changes in relationship dynamics will promote freedom and honesty rather than feeling trapped. You're going to have a new inspiration in creative projects or teaching roles, and you're going to have improvement through gentle, consistent care of your body and your energy. You may also experience heightened intuition or subtle psychic sensitivity during this month. So listen to that quiet voice within. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. We've done everyone in Pisces. We've done all of these. So let's jump across to, since we did Libra, let's go up to Cancer Rising. Let me find that slide for you guys. Oops, right here. Cancer Rising. All right. So Cancer Rising, your chart is ruled by the moon. And this moon for you is in the third house. It's the realm of communication, thought, and your immediate surroundings. So I want to get back to my arrow right here. And this is a recalibration of your mind itself. Virgo's bringing clarity, refinement, attention to detail. And 3i Atlas has got the frequency of awakening. And this is going to fine-tune the way that you process and transmit information. So what you're learning here during this next lunation is that words create the world around you. Every sentence is a spell that shapes your reality. The new moon is asking you to notice your internal language and the quiet commentary running beneath thought. So when you speak with precision and kindness, the universe will echo that tone back to you. Venus is going to give just this delicious softness and warm, artistic, magnetic energy to your voice. Writing, teaching, or content creation can flourish this month for you. This is a expression with grace and beauty. You're having South Node in your second house in Leo, letting go of definitions of worth. You're shifting from possession to expression. So what you give through your voice and presence is the real treasure here, Cancer Rising. Jupiter in your 12th house is opening up your spiritual perception. Next month, you're going to have Jupiter moving through your first house, which means that your physical body will expand. So you want to watch what you eat and your appetite during the next year, Cancer Rising. You're going to feel drawn to prayer, meditation, reflective solitude. This is unseen channels of wisdom being divined to you. Uranus at the cusp of your 10th and 11th house is a shift in vocation, public image, and the circles that you run with. Professional roles will be evolving rapidly, and you're going to want to surrender to that transformation. Freedom becomes essential, and the more you speak your truth about that freedom you need, the easier it will be for you to create. The boomerang reaction of this yod is Chiron in the 9th house, healing through humility, softening your beliefs, learning to hold faith and reason in balance, and letting experience refine your wisdom. So then we have the North Node, Saturn and Neptune in the 8th house, Cancer Rising. This is emotional depth. You can't get away from this. This is part of the arm of that yod. So the partnerships you're in, the trust, the shared resources, it's sacred study. Whatever transformation you're going through, use Saturn's integrity. Use Neptune's compassion, because they teach you the balance between the boundaries and the surrender. Then you have Pluto right on your descendant, right in the cusp of the 6th and 7th house, transforming not only your partnerships, but also how you work, right? You are becoming more conscious of the energetic exchanges in your daily life, who you serve, how you partner, and where you give your power. So mutual respect becomes the foundation for both healing and collaboration. And then finally, you have Mercury, Mars, and Black Moon Lilith in your 4th house. So there's something that's going to be shifting in the realm of your home, renovations, emotional breakthroughs, conversations with family that restore truth within that field. And it's all about honesty. So, whatever you speak with your family, let it be honest. Some things that you may see practically manifesting with Cancer rising is a clear desire to write, to teach, or to communicate ideas with a new sense of depth. You're going to be revising your daily schedules or commitments to support mental clarity. You're also going to be healing any family communication patterns or general misunderstandings. And you're going to have sudden career opportunities connected to innovation or authentic expression. Deeper emotional connections and partnerships. I mean, really deep with that Pluto there. And then because of that Jupiter in 12th house, intuition, dream activities, synchronicities, and awareness of the energetic exchange in both work and love. So this is a big moon, a big lunation for you, Cancer rising. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have two more. We have Gemini rising and did we do Pisces rising? I don't remember if we did or not. Let me know if we did Pisces rising. I don't think we did. We might have three more to do. I feel like I did Pisces rising. Maybe I didn't. I know we didn't do Gemini though. So let's do Gemini right now. I should have written this down. All right, Gemini rising, Mercury is your chart ruler. This moon is in your fourth house with Venus. So you are recoding your home, your whole environment. Sun, moon, three-eye atlas, meeting in Virgo, illuminating the architecture of safety, family, your emotional rhythms. This is an instinct to restore order, either by organizing your space, healing ancestral patterns, or redefining what home really means. So you're bringing precision to the invisible threads that keep you steady. That's really what this is about. Anything that's around the fourth house. And Venus is going to bring in a little bit of tenderness to this process. So I guarantee you that if you surround yourself with beauty, with comfort, and let your senses remind you that the care you're giving yourself is sacred, this creates a beautiful, peaceful space that is aligned with you spiritually. South Node in the third house suggests release of the mental clutter. You have to let it go, Gemini rising. I know this is hard, but old narratives, constant busyness, habitual overthinking must be balanced with silence and deeper listening, because when the mind is quiet, the heart can listen and the heart can lead. And you guys should definitely be watching what you're eating, because Jupiter will expand the physical self as it moves through your first house. I always gain 10 or 15 pounds when Jupiter moves through my first house. Now it's in my second house, so it's slowly coming off, but this can definitely happen. There could be a fresh sense of optimism about who you are becoming. Growth is going to come through the self-trust and honoring what nourishes you. You have Uranus in your 11th house. This is a huge and shift and revolution to the community that you're part of. Those energies are going to shift for you because you are becoming more clear about where you belong. So seek the spaces that feel reciprocal and aligned. You have Chiron in your 10th house. So you're going to be experiencing healing this lunation around visibility and success. The outer world is going to mirror that inner one. And as your inner foundation stabilizes through this moon, this is the reaction, the boomerang of Chiron. The professional life will naturally strengthen. Then you'll have North Node, Saturn, Neptune in your 9th house. This is a calling to live what you believe. What are your philosophies? What ritual practices do you have around that? And what teaching methods evolve through the lived experiences of your life? Saturn's going to give you that discipline, and Neptune is going to keep that faith alive. So lean into that new group of folks that you are going to be called your soul tribe, because they will recognize you and see your greatness because you're doing the inner work. You're doing the work in the so below right here with this new moon. Pluto in your 7th house is transforming relationships. Your partnerships have to have depth and authenticity now. And any power balances that were off in the past are shifting towards mutual respect. You really can't have it any other way. And then in your 5th house, you've got Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith, igniting that creative joy. So expression is going to heal you. Let play, let art, let love remind you why you build such careful foundations, and feel alive from whatever grows into that. Practically speaking, this might manifest as moving, like you might relocate or reorganize your home to reflect the new current energy that you're moving into. You're going to have emotional healing around your family, around your ancestry. And Gemini, you do need to simplify that mental space. It's either going to be forced upon you or you need to do it consciously this month. So journal, meditate, reduce the noise. You might feel increased confidence and physical vitality. Community and friendship roles are absolutely going to be shifting. And career and public recognition are going to be linked to what you are doing on your emotional level. And then there might be some creative or romantic renewal that brings happiness back into your life. Finding that new soul tribe and sort of surrendering to that transformation. Cool. All right, let's see. I think I have Aries left. Can someone tell me if we did Pisces? I can't remember. I don't want to read it twice. Somebody could just rewind and let me know if I did that. I'm going to do Aries next. Aries. All right. So Aries rising, Mars is your chart ruler. The moon is in your 6th house with the sun, 3-eye Atlas, and Spica. And the Yod is the 1st and the 11th house. So this moon is in your 6th house is calling you to a level of refinement, right? This is where the cosmic intelligence of what's being brought in for you is coming into a head-on collision with simple action. So for you, Aries rising, you all are used to grand actions, grand gestures. But this month is not about that. It's about clean lines. It's about consistent energy. Order is the spiritual language of the month right now. It's the way the divine moves through the simple form, the act of brushing your teeth with reverence, grateful for your toothbrush, grateful for your toothpaste, grateful for your perfect, clean, white, straight teeth. Just that act of brushing your teeth can give you at least 5 to 10 minutes of pure gratitude for everything that you get to do right now. So examine how your time and your energy and your body are serving your larger calling by simply moving the devotion and the gratitude into these smaller acts this month. So reorganize, clean, adjust your schedules, anything that honors balance. 3-eye Atlas is bringing you a fresh awareness from a new space. So there's going to be subtle intuitive nudges that guide you towards efficiency without rigidity. So mindfully moving with intention where the mundane becomes sacred. Venus is also going to bring harmony to the work and health matters. You're going to surround yourself in environments that soothe your nervous system, and you're going to approach tasks with a gentleness. So when pleasure and purpose meet, that's when productivity flourishes effortlessly. Now, your South Node in the fifth house is signaling a release of ego-driven creation. You're not doing this creative energy to be seen anymore. Expression's important, but it's about maturing into purpose. So what you create is now going to serve something bigger than just your self-image. Jupiter in the 3rd house is going to expand communication and learning. So whatever you're curious about will fuel your growth. New studies, new skills, new projects to help you express what you're refining. And teaching and writing thrive under this transit. Uranus in your 1st house brings unpredictable impulses, right? But it all points towards freedom. Identity will continue to evolve rapidly. This lunation will help you channel that restlessness into practical form. Make it a game, right? Ground whatever new and crazy ideas, a new artistic project through a mindful practice rather than through an impulsive change. Just decide you're going to change it and then carry out a plan on how you change it. Chiron in the 12th is also reminding you to rest, Aries rising. You guys have to be silent just as much as you have to act, right? You're going to have emotional fatigue, and it's going to surface this month with Chiron in the 12th. So honor stillness as a productive state. North Node, Saturn, Neptune in the 11th house is pulling you in this grand trine, all your attention towards community. These habits that you're forming now with grace and mindfulness are going to ripple outward into collective service. So it's a quiet leadership of example, living in a way that inspires others. Pluto in the 9th is transforming your belief. The daily disciplines that are being born out of this new inner pattern reshape your very philosophy itself as well. So faith will become practical, and it'll be a structure built from lived truth. So now we have Mars, Mercury, Black Moon, Lilith in the 7th, energizing partnerships. Collaborations may accelerate, clear communication, and authentic dialogue. So the energies that may manifest for you, Aries rising, is a desire to streamline your work, your home, and your health routines. You're going to implement new habits, nutrition, exercise, time management, all spiritually aligned to this new you. And then there's a discovery or study of a skill that will improve your mind and livelihood. And then healing of stress or fatigue just through rest and just through being. Productive collaborations or mentorships are also highly favored. And then recognition of small acts of service. So really, it's about the details this month for you, Aries rising. Every choice, do it with care. Every moment of awareness, it's going to refine what you're experiencing. So devotion to the everyday, gratitude to the everyday. All right. I think I still have Pisces left. Let me just look at it and make sure I haven't read. I should know that by the time I read it. Yeah, I haven't read this yet. Okay, so Pisces will be last. All right. And in the normal Chaldean zodiacal order, Pisces is last on the hero's journey. So last but not least, Pisces rising, you're going to have the moon, sun, 3-eye atlas, Spica, all in your 7th house. So shining and reflecting back to you the way that you meet the world. It's a mirror that reflects literally who you are becoming. And so every interaction with another soul carries a potential for you, Pisces rising, to recalibrate. The people, what you're going to want to notice is that people around you will be tuning forks for you to hear your own truth. So energies of giving too much will be highlighted if you're doing that. And so you're going to be asked to reclaim an equilibrium, right? It's going to ask you to bring a grace that ensures service to peace. And Atlas adds this layer of cosmic timing. So you, more than others, will have tremendous synchronicities, meetings, conversations, new connections that feel very fated for you, almost as if guided by a larger intelligence for Pisces rising. You also have Venus here in your 7th house. So it's opening the heart to love, to giving without losing, to receiving without resistance. So you might have a deeper partnership if you're already partnered, or if you don't have a partner and you're a Pisces rising, you may have a new partnership come into your field during this month. You have your South Node in the 6th house. You're doing too much. You're giving too much. So you're going to release that this month. Service doesn't mean you have to deplete yourself. You need to balance it with health and nurturing and that inner balance. Jupiter in your 4th house expands the sense of home and belonging. Your family bonds may actually grow stronger, and you might feel called to create a sanctuary around you that nourishes your soul. Where you live, where you call home, becomes the place of wisdom and the grounding point for the compassion that you generously give to others. Uranus in the 2nd house brings innovation to value and resources. So you might have a windfall, sudden material changes, and it could also be loss. But sometimes these losses are liberating. That is Uranus's job, to break you free. So those of you with Uranus moving through your second house over these uh, 7 or 8 years, you might find that your financial ground as you move into the second house becomes unstable. But then as you get used to the erratic nature and surprising nature of Uranus, you become more nimble and ready for those unexpected changes. Chiron in your first house is healing your sense of identity. So here, you guys, especially, you're used to being vulnerable, folks, because that's Pisces rising, but now it actually becomes your strength. So the more authentic you are, the more your natural connection becomes. Then you have North Node and Saturn in your 12th house, turning you inward, solitude, meditation, spiritual practices. This is key for you. You do this, and these external synchronicities that are part of the yod will show you that you're doing it right. Okay. And then Pluto in the 10th is transforming your public image. The world begins to see you as the voice of depth and sincerity. And your professional roles may shift during Pluto's transit through your 10th house. So now you have Mars, Mercury, and Black Moon Lilith in the 8th house. Passion, honesty, and intimacy. Hidden emotions will rise. And you're going to need to speak these gently with this Libra energy. Let the secrets go. Let them rise up to the surface and be seen and be heard and be understood. The practical manifestations for you, Pisces rising, is a new or renewed partnership. Okay, with that Venus in your 7th house. You're going to have conversations that redefine boundaries and restore harmony. You're going to release unhealthy work habits or caretaking patterns. It's time to break those habits. And your family energy is going to expand. So it could be a new family member too, even. You're going to have greater freedom with the shifts, financial and material, that Uranus is affording you through your second house. And you're healing your self-image through forgiveness and transparency. So career, public recognition, also born from that raw, authentic honesty. So there it is. All the rising signs. We got through them all. How amazing. I don't think I left any out. If I did, I'll add an addendum, but I believe we hit them all. Y'all let me know in the chat if I didn't. All right, let's see. We're going to stop sharing. All right, so let's see. Yeah, I think I did get everyone. All right. How did that resonate for you guys? Did you all feel that energy? Maybe you let me know in a couple of weeks as this full moon culminates, if what we read synchronizes with what's going on in your life. I feel like for Taurus rising, it absolutely resonates for me in a big way, for sure. So, all right, y'all. Well, I appreciate you guys listening. If you're still here at the end of that long reading, that's how it goes. I sit here in my office and I just go through it. I do have notes in front of me, and I try to bring it to you as clearly as possible. Like I said, we will have timestamps in here later once YouTube processes the video. So hopefully by tomorrow, I should be able to do that. So let's see. Common Ground says Taurus rising here, and I feel this is true for me. Yep. I agree. Definitely with the nodes in the 4th and the 10th house, for sure. And Blue Sky says, I'm new. How does this work? Well, it depends on how much you know, how much you don't know. You can always start with your sun, moon, rising in our free chart calculator on drdanny.com and just identify. You don't have to understand it. Just identify your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. I do have a free course that teaches you all of that on my website, learn.drdanny.com. You can also find it by going via way of the courses link on drdanny.com. And that will give you a nice foundation just to start understanding your own chart. And what I've done is, based on your individual rising sign, is I can tell you where the planets in the sky are resonating in which houses. And that can be very useful for energetic planning. So if you were thinking you were going to focus on, say, thing 1 this month, and you just heard that reading where your rising sign is Taurus, for example, and what I read to you suggests that maybe you put that one on the back burner and focus on this thing, that may be what you do, and that allows you to align more to what's naturally happening to you on an energetic level than just trying to wing it. So yeah, and, sometimes it's just helpful just to listen and let yourself understand rather than trying to let your mind understand. Sometimes that's useful. What I used to do before I could speak astrology was I would run today's chart and I would run my birthday chart and I would just stare and compare. And sometimes I would find myself spending the greater part of an hour doing that and maybe writing notes or doing research online of what that means. If something was, if I was trying to find the root of something that was stirring within me. So yeah, it's a process. You're not going to know astrology right off the bat or even how to speak it, but it certainly does help to more deeply understand who you are and why you're here. So thanks for asking that question. Sometimes it's brave. That's a brave energy to admit. Yes, we are discussing this new moon tomorrow. Yes, yes. All right. Very cool. Yeah, I think if you listen to all of them, you get a little bit of a flavor for how the planets work in the different houses. So that's useful if you're learning for sure. 165 Terry says, might take a bit to sink in, but I loved it. Oh, thank you so much. And then Have Bliss asked, is the 13 calendar on your site set to the 13 sign default? Yes. It should be. Should be the 12 houses and then the 13 signs. Astronomically correct. So all right, cool. Well, that was a long one. I'm exhausted. That was a lot. I'm thirsty too. So I'm going to hang up with you guys and let you all enjoy the intro that we played earlier. And let's see. I think I'll probably go live this weekend. There might be a decode bubbling within me, and we might want to talk about the Venus aspects that are coming at the end of this week, the square and the opposition, the Chiron Pluto energy. So we'll dive into that. And then, yeah, I have some announcements, but I can't remember any of them right now. So this one's on me, guys. Just check out my links if you haven't been there before. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. You'll get notifications on when I go live. And if you are not a channel member and want to become a channel member, these guys will tell you you all get all the pre-recorded videos first. So it's sort of like real time when I'm creating. As soon as I've done it and it's edited and ready to go, you guys get it right away. Sometimes you get to keep those videos too. I don't actually publish them to the general public. Then we also meet once a month around the new moon to talk about the energy that's coming. So the members got a nice in-depth reading about that, and then they could ask things personally about their chart or things that they didn't understand about astrology in general. So it's $6.99 a month instead of $4.99 a month. So I appreciate all of you that have joined the membership. So consider doing that. And then, of course, if you need a reading, you want to sit down and do a quick consult with me just to cover a certain part of your chart or a certain place you're having difficulty learning, I'm available for you. Stellar Foundations, we're meeting again in 1 week for our 4th office hours. So what you guys want to do before we get into that office hours is review the modules on transits, because that is the skill we're going to learn. I'm going to teach you that, and you're going to love it. You're going to have a renewed sense of faith in astrology and how it works and how it predicts. So I'm real excited to teach that lesson with you guys. All right. Well, y'all, I love you so much. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and play this.